Most people don't know how to tell the difference between a real violation and a normal inquiry. Today, I'm going to show you how to spot the money and how to ignore the noise. Now, before we get started and before we get to the good stuff, you already know what I need to hear. So let me hear it. Come on, don't be shy. Hey, credit pull, get me my money. Okay, let's get it. Now we can begin. I'm impermissible pull man, the credit pull guy. People just call me credit pull because around here, credit pulls equals money. And I teach people how to put money in their pocket simply for having a credit file. Now let's talk about how to organize your violations. Because once you know what to look for, enforcement becomes simple. You only look in one place, the inquiries section of your credit report. Not the score, not the accounts, not the payment history, not the collections, just the inquiries sections, because that's where the CRA documents every single access to your private data. A violation is simple. If they didn't have permissible purpose and you didn't apply, you didn't authorize, you didn't initiate, didn't interact, it's generally a violation. And just so you don't get sidetracked, we only deal with soft pulls. Hard pulls involve applications, authorizations, and consumer interaction. So they don't belong in enforcement. Soft pulls are the evidence. Soft pulls are the documentation. Soft pulls are the violation. Soft pulls are the money. Not everything in the inquiries section is a violation. These are not violations. Pulls from accounts you actually applied for, pulls from lenders you actually interacted with, pulls tied to a clear permissible purpose, certain pre-screened pulls for a firm offer of credit or insurance, pulls tied to an existing relationship. Now listen carefully. Just because a stranger claims to have permissible purpose does not make the pull legitimate. A stranger can have permissible purpose under certain legal exceptions like a firm offer of credit or insurance, if it involves debt collection or debt buying. But just because a stranger claims to have permissible purpose does not make the pull valid. This is where timing becomes your best friend. If you applied for something, you expect a pull. If you interacted with someone, you expect a pull. If you have an account, you expect a pull. But if you did nothing and the stranger appears and the timing is off, that's when you must scrutinize the pull. Scrutiny is what tells you whether or not it's a potential claim. Potential claims justify filing a lawsuit because only in discovery can the truth be revealed. Discovery is where the paperwork, the timing, and the certifications either prove their narrative or destroy it. Now, let's talk about the pulls people get confused about. Promotional pulls look legitimate, but they're one of the most abused categories. Strangers use promotional pulls because it gives them cover. It sounds compliant and it looks compliant, but most of the time it is a violation because you had no relationship with them and they had no reason to access your private data. Timing is everything. When they pull your report on one date and then mail you the firm offer days or weeks later, that's a red flag. The offer must exist before or at the time of the pull. If the offer didn't exist yet, then what were they doing with your report on the pull date? If the mail was dispatched immediately or ordered at the same time they received your file, this is more defensible. But usually, this is not what happens. Most of the time, they're mining your data, scrubbing your data, or analyzing your credit report. None of this is allowed. They only need your name and address in order to send you a firm offer. So why did they pull your credit report? Debt collectors and debt buyers work the same way. Timing matters. What was requesting matters. What was shared matters. And what documents existed at the time of the pull matters. A debt collector's authority only comes from someone who had the legal capacity to give it to them. A debt buyer's authority only exists if the person they bought the alleged debt from had the legal capacity to transfer it. So, the timing of the transfer, the documents that were actually transferred, and whether those documents existed before or at the time of the pull, all of that is crucial. And the only way to get to those communications and documents is through discovery. Every inquiry falls into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, violation. No permissible purpose, no application, no authorization, no interaction, and the timing is off. Bucket 2, non-violation. You caused it, or the law gave them a legitimate permissible purpose that can be proven through paperwork and timing. Bucket 3, questionable. You're not sure yet, so you flag it and scrutinize it. Once you understand the 3 buckets, you stop reacting emotionally and you start thinking like an enforcer. You're not guessing, you're not hoping. You're evaluating timing, relationship, paperwork, and purpose. That's the enforcement mindset. You organize your violations by creating a simple list. Offender name, date of pull, type of pull is going to be soft because we only deal with soft pulls. Permissible purpose is going to be yes, no, or what they're claiming. Your interaction, is it yes or no? The timing alignment, is it yes or no? And finally, the category. Is it a violation, non-violation, or is it questionable? And listen carefully. The evidence of the violation is simply the date of the soft pull that's showing up in the inquiry section of your credit report. That's the evidence. That's the record. That's the violation. As long as you've already done your scrutiny and verified it's a potential claim, the soft pull itself with its date is all the documentation you need to justify filing a lawsuit. Organization is what makes enforcement judge-friendly, simple, clean, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. When you organize your violations, you're not guessing, you're documenting. You're ready for enforcement when you know what's a violation and what's not, what's questionable. You have your list, you have your evidence, and you have your offenders. That's when the cash becomes real. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to build your enforcement file, the part that turns your organized violations into a clean, judge-ready case. If you're following the enforcement arc, continue to the next video. Everyone profits from your private data except you. It's time to change that. Credit Pull out.